Good morning, traders. I'm Emily Advani, the CEO of the Investment Banking Institute and your host here at NewsWare's Trade Talk. Joining me is trading anchor Bill Olson, who brings more than 30 years of institutional trading experience to our program. At Trade Talk, we provide the facts, themes, and trading ideas for the day ahead. Today is Monday, December 30th. We begin another holiday-shortened trading week after stocks slumped on Friday. During regular trading, the Dow gave up 333 points, or just more than 0.75%. The S&P 500 dropped 66 points, or 1.11%. The Nasdaq clawed back from a steep drop to still end lower by nearly 300 points, or about 1.5%. Bill, let's get into Monday's action with what is happening in the markets this morning.
Yes. Good morning, Emily. It's kind of ugly out there right now. The S&Ps are down over 1%. The S&Ps are actually down 1.04, 1.03%. Listen, it all started around 7:30. I mean, markets were down about 0.2%, and then the bottom just dropped out, and now we're down over 1%. Doesn't has me a little bit. I gotta tell you, I'm not concerned. I'm more excited because this movement like this is what I like, because now it creates volatility, and volatility equals opportunity. I mean, you're looking at the economic reports. The key one, I guess, today is the home sales data that's due out after the open, pending new home sales. Good, not extraordinarily exciting, but it's probably the big one for today. Did you see those comments about Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen? She said extraordinary measures are going to be needed to avoid a default. She feels a default is going to start in January. Now, the House votes on the speakership for Mike Johnson on Friday, and there's going to be some rumblings. Not everybody on the Republican side is happy with him, especially after the recent continuing resolution bill. But there really is not an alternative of someone to jumping up ship to raise their hand and says, I'll be speaker. So I don't expect a change there, but we'll have to see. What do we got? Former President Jimmy Carter died yesterday. Markets are going to be closing on Thursday, January 9th as a result. That's next Thursday. Shares of Boeing getting hit. Plane crash, South Korea. Plane was a 2009 737-800 jet. That's not the 730 MAX. It's a different plane. The landing gear is the issue. It didn't appear to be deployed. They said the bird strike hit the engines, but that shouldn't affect the landing gear. It could be pilot error. We'll have to wait and see. Now we're taking a look at overseas. We're looking at what happened at the DAX. The DAX is down 81 points, or 0.41%. Again, it was flat. It was flat to lower. It was down 0.08%, and then the S&P sold off the DAX, and the other European markets kind of weakened as well. The FTSE is now down 19 points, or 0.24%. The CAC is down 8 points. It was trading higher, and now it's down 0.13%. Inflation data is really, is running hot. Spanish inflation data came in a little hotter than normal. There was an ECB official over the weekend that indicated that they may delay an interest rate cut next year, because why? Inflation is starting to tick higher. Then we're looking at last night in Asia, or early this morning in Asia. You got the Nikkei. The Nikkei fell 386 points, or 0.96%. Had a big gain on Friday, so it gave up about half of that gain. We saw some weakness in autos and tech. Specifically, the autos were very weak. Then we're looking at the Hang Seng. The Hang Seng dropped 49 points, or 0.24%. China actually rose 0.21%. The market's anticipating tomorrow's PMI reading out of China, which is expected to stay above 50, which would be positive. We'll have to wait and see. But that's the key thing that's going on in Asia right now. Then we're looking at oil. I mean, oil remains a hot commodity. Oil is trading higher. It was lower this morning, but it has since turned higher. WTI is trading at $70.75 a barrel, or up 0.23%. Brent trading 74.29. That's up 12 cents, or 0.16%. We just need to make a note that Friday's crude oil inventories report showed a draw of 4.2 million barrels for the week ending 12/20. That's bullish, and they ended the week with that's five straight weeks of draws for inventories. But yeah, we're seeing some positive action in oil, and that's what I have for you in terms of the morning market update, Emily.
Bill, as you mentioned, even though we're sort of swimming in a sea of red here, we're still looking for opportunities. We're closing out this the second to last day before we close out 2024. And, we do have a holiday shortened trading week with New Year's Day as a holiday right in the middle of the week. So we're looking to take advantage of these couple of trading days before year end. We are going to get to some details to continue to look for opportunity using Newsware, gathering data and information. I will make a note real quick. Earnings action, really nothing on that front, but confirm for me, Bill, nothing to note there.
Yeah, there's nothing really to note. I mean, they all week long, it's really void of any significant earnings announcements that are happening. But next week we start to pick it up. And next week they're just going to start to pick it up towards the end of the week. Next week we do have a pickup in earnings announcements, Emily.
And we will follow that information right here on Trade Talk. So follow earnings action as it picks up with us. Now we're going to get to the economic events of the day. Bill, you did mention at least one notable report that we should be keeping an eye on. So give us a look at everything we should be watching when it comes to economic reports.
9:45, we have the Chicago PMI. At 10 a.m., we get the new home sales numbers. I mean, this is another holiday week ahead. Volumes expect to be low, and yet there remains a number of economic reports coming out. But the key one for this week is going to be Friday's manufacturing report. It's the ISM manufacturing report that's coming out Friday, and it's expected to come in at 48.1 for December. Remember, November's came in at 48.8, so we'll have to wait and see how the market does, but that doesn't come out till Friday. So today, Chicago PMI 9:45, new home sales 10 a.m. Those are the key economic reports for the day, Emily.
And Bill, you'll be watching those using your Newsware. You have an economic alert set up. You also have alerts for other types of news. And we hear from your opening, you really have a finger on the pulse of all different types of news. You're looking at international news. You're watching oil. You're looking at political news. You're looking at news when it comes to corporate headlines, along with earnings and economic events. Today, you're looking at your stocks grouped together like your FANG stocks and your Dow 30 stocks, a little quiet on the other news fronts when it comes to things like merger news, guidance news, shareholders meetings, buyback news, because of another holiday week and this time in between the two holidays. But Bill, what else do you see is possibly moving the markets today?
Just doing a quick data check. I'm looking at my Dow stocks. I got 27 lower, 2 higher, and 1 unchanged. Ooh, that's not good today. Then we're looking at our FANG stocks, and they're all down, well, at least roughly 1% on all of them, which is not setting up for the market for a gain today. That's for sure. We're looking at some of the news behind the headlines. Amazon. There's a news story about Amazon and UPS racing out for drone delivery services. Okay, I don't think this really has a major impact on the revenue. We'll have to wait and see. It's years away for drone impact to be delivering positive impacts on revenue. Netflix, recent success of the sports on Netflix, the live sports on Netflix, likely going to result in the streaming of more live sporting events. Now, those deals are typically signed years in advance, so we'll have to wait and see when what's the next one that Netflix is going to sign for a streaming version of sporting events. Tesla, ticker TSLA, stocks down 2.3% this morning. Motor vehicle sales are due out on Friday. That's one to watch. In terms of Dow Jones 30s, we got to talk about Boeing, ticker BA. Stock's down 3.39%. Shares are weakening as that plane crash over the weekend has created concerns. But remember, it's not the the Max plane. It's a different plane that was created and it was built in 2009. So there's on the flight recorder it said, "Hey, we got hit by birds," and then so that may have shut down the engines, which is why the guy had to turn around. But why the landing gear didn't come down, that's the question mark, because the landing gear has nothing to do with the engines. Could be pilot error, but we'll have to wait and see. More data will come out in the days and weeks ahead. IBM, I see UK regulators are set to probe the IBM HashiCorp deal. Looking at IBM this morning, stock's down about 0.8% this morning. And Emily, that's all I'm seeing in terms of news hitting the tape.
This is the type of data that NewsWare delivers daily. It's factual, it's market moving, and our alerting functions bring it to your attention as it happens. Go to www.newsware.com now and sign up for the trial and see for yourself the benefits that professional Newswire delivers. We've now made it to that time of the show for the Trade Talk pick of the day. Bill, there is some volatility out there, even if it is to the downside, but you're looking for opportunity. So what is your pick of the day today?
I'm going with Walt Disney, ticker DIS, David India Sam. I mean, there is a positive narrative building for Disney. I mean, that new Lion King movie, I mean, it won the box office this weekend. The news on the Christmas sports rating for Disney, because they were showing NBA games. You remember they own ESPN. That was positive. You look at Friday's call volume, 31,822 calls versus 17,879 puts. That's positive. Open interest 519,362 versus 435,072. Again, positive. Major brokers continue to be positive. I mean, Wells Fargo is big on it, and another brokers, you're saying that this is one of the best picks for 2025. So you got to kind of like it. Now, the real thing is the entry point. Now, remember, Disney is getting hit this morning, and it's down 1%. The market is down 1%. So I'm really looking to get in at Disney under 110. I'm going to say 109.75 because I think this wave of red will be big in the morning, but it's not going to hold because something like Disney has a lot of, it has a base, and I think it bounces off of this base. So if I can get in, at 109.75, I think that would be a great entry price, and I think I can make my 1% today. So my pick of the day is Walt Disney, or DIS, David India Sam. This morning, Emily.
Bill, looking at the best of breed here at a discount to try to make your gain. And we will see how that goes. We'll follow that along with you today. And coming up, before we sign off, we will do a recap on Friday's pick of the day. So stick with us through that. But first, let's take a look to see if there's any current breaking headlines hitting the tape in our Hot Off the Press segment. Bill, take it away.
JNVR to begin accepting payments in Bitcoin. I don't know who they are. Ticker ZB. Zebra to acquire 3D machine film Photo Neo with cash on hand. Boeing says it's in contact with the airline where the plane crashed. All right. HALO, Happy Apple, Larry Oscar, Halcyon, they reported the FDA approval for co-formulated drug. All right. Novartis, NVS, reports positive phase 3 steer study met primary endpoints. Remember, this stock just got crushed recently, Novartis. So it traded as low as 85, and now it's trading around 90. But, they have that obesity drug that's still important. Ollie's Bargain Basement, ticker OLLI. I mean, the stock got hit Friday afternoon in late trading. It actually fell down 2%. Now, and the reason why is because the Big Lots, Big Lots did a deal where they're selling, portions of their business. They agreed to sell to Gordon Brothers retail partners, and that caused some weakness in Ollie Bargain's basement. But I'm looking at Ollie's now, ticker OLLI. Yeah, it's trading higher by 0.76%. So it came back from those lows that came out Friday afternoon. Domino's Pizza, DPZ. Got some positive comments from Barron's over the weekend. Cigna, this drug middlemen are higher due to the failure to pass that provision that was in the CR bill. CVS, Cigna, UNH. UNH is trading lower now, but pulling that PBI, pulling out the provision was really benefiting those companies. That's all I have for you this morning, Emily.
Okay, Bill, before we dive into trading on this Monday, let's do that check-in on Friday's pick of the day, which was Rigetti Computing, ticker RGTI. If our listeners recall, you pointed out that quantum stocks were moving on Friday. It was a kind of a messy day in the markets, as we pointed out earlier in the show. But shares of Rigetti Computing were moving much higher on Friday, and that was even following a record close by the company on the previous day, on Thursday. Bill, how did your call work out?
Worked out well. I believe I said 1680 is an entry price. Well, listen, the stock opened up at 1686, which was hugely valuable because right after that, it started running. It ran all the way up. It went from 1686 all the way up to 1935. I mean, it's a $2 run for a $16 stock. That's great. And it did close at 1708, which again is, it beats the 1% just from the opening price. But that run that had in the morning was really the juggernaut on Friday. And Friday was a dead day. That was the only thing that I saw an opportunity in. So RGTI was a winner. Richard Gray's Tom India winner on Friday.
Certainly an opportunity there, a nice gainer, and we will check in with you tomorrow about today's Disney pick of the day. Bill, thank you as always for your expert insight. Join us back here tomorrow at NewsWare's Trade Talk when we provide the facts, themes, and trading ideas for the day ahead. Again, I'm your host, Emily Advani, here with trading anchor Bill Olson. Traders, you know what to do. Let's go out there and make some green.